Hi, my name is Mocha with Decolonizing the Divine, and this video is going to be a response in for the Dear Future Wifey podcast and the recent hoopla that has been going on with Pastor Reggie and Kelly Steele of Phoenix, Arizona. If y'all haven't seen it online, you don't have to go searching for it. Basically, from what I gather, this pastor and his wife have um, been living in everything except what God wants them to do. She would basically help him prepare to go see his side chick. He would disrespect her and abuse her verbally. I don't know if it was physically. Is that far off? I don't know. And she was, and her mental processing is, God told me, to that whole stuff that they brainwash black women with to stay and duke it out and tolerate abuse for the salvation of their relationship in marriage. And this is why it's so important that we start decolonizing our understanding of God. Okay, that was everything besides what God would want for you. Okay. This is a big reason why I started to build this platform so we can get out of this state of suffering and understand what it actually is. So I wrote this book, Decolonizing the Divine. And this is to, again, help people get back to this eternal knowing that we existed in before we got introduced to all these other religious institutions and systems. Black people had a natural connection and understanding of God before anything else came along. That is what we're going back to, okay? And you can see the mental psychosis and the brainwashing that occurs when we lead or involve our spiritual knowledge into people who ain't got a clue on what that is. Okay, so I went through the ascension process, or I achieved enlightenment. And enlightenment is basically when you go through the ascension process and you embody God's energy in the flesh. It is a process, right? And it's not something that's particularly linear, but again, I talk about it in my book on how to do it and what my process was. A popular figure known to have done that is Jesus. Okay, Jesus went through the ascension or enlightenment process, or he achieved enlightenment, and he embodied God's energy in the flesh. This is why people confuse him or mistake him as God, right? And this is why people, again, because they identify God being outside of them, they go through all these means to try and like seek or these religious institutions when it's not necessary for you to do that. And you end up in situations and stuff like this where people just really have no understanding of God and how this works. And you have these men, okay, who have completely misabused or who have abused their false sense of power that has been granted to them through patriarchy. And they get to get away with stuff like this. And not only do they get to get away with it, it's glorified, right? It's, women subject themselves to things because they don't understand that women don't understand that they are naturally connected to the divine. We do not understand we are naturally connected to God. God ain't told you to do nothing like that. Okay? I promise you, God wants you to be free. Anything else outside of you having this enlightened understanding and relationship with God is of lower dense energy, or what people call the devil or demonic. That's it right there. Okay. Um, that's it. So again, because um, how history has made this out to be and has positioned men to be the spiritual authority when they're actually not. That was women's natural positioning and our natural way of existing, again, before we got introduced to these systems. And when we don't understand our natural connection to God, we seek it from men. And we seek it from not we seek it from men, we seek it from institutions, we seek it from persons, places, and things. Okay? Do men have a connection to God? Yes, absolutely. But women's energetic system is built to receive divine communication. Our energetic system is meant. That's why women are supposed to rest, right? Divine communication is energetically taxing, right? That's why we're supposed to, not have all these distractions and influences that can interrupt and disrupt our energy. And so when you don't understand this, right, and you're trying to find God and you don't understand you carry God within you, you attach yourself to these vultures, okay, who are literally siphoning your divine energy from you and putting themselves on a pedestal with it. That's essentially what happens, right? When women don't understand the natural energy that they carry, okay, they become susceptible. They become susceptible to basically being prey, okay, and putting their good goddess energy into men who ain't even started to do their work. Okay, I made a video talking about how men spiritually bypass by attaching themselves to women's energy. This is a great example right here because women don't understand the natural energy that they carry, and it's on purpose and it's by design to keep you delusional and basically handing away your energy to people who ain't got no business having it. Okay? This is how they train women to accept abuse. This is how they train women to just rob themselves of this beautiful life that they could be creating if they only understood what they have access to. Okay? And this is why these conversations are so important, right? When men have not done their work and they have just been granted access to women, we have these dynamics that we stay in, and we stay in this lower energetic tier, right? We stay in the energy of these experience. I don't know because I don't want to get flagged on YouTube. But the thing that men typically do when they have not found their higher calling, this lower tier energy that they stay in, everybody stays in that energy until men start to do their work. And men do not have to do their work as long as you are so busy trying to fixate your energy down here where they are. This is a big problem. This is a big old problem. And this is why we stay in these constant loops and these constant cycles and these constant not getting free and creating the lives that we want because we think this some men who ain't got a lick of sense is supposed to give it to us. Men cannot lead you if they have not led themselves to their higher purpose and calling. Can you join when they're on that pathway? Absolutely, but they need to be on that pathway still. Women suffer for this in more ways than they realize, right? She is likely going to be dealing with some illnesses that maybe have not come to exist yet, but you're going to pay the cost, right? When you energetically suffer like that and your energy is being abused in that way, you suffer in some type of way, right? This is why so many black women deal with health issues. And this is why so many women don't understand relationships and relationship dynamics. You're going to suffer in some type of way if you don't wake up and understand the energy that you carry, right? So I offer webinars and things like that. I'll talk about that in a little bit to help you understand your ancient divine energy, okay? Again, before we got introduced to these systems, before we got introduced to patriarchy, before we got introduced to colonialism, you literally had a direct line and you can reclaim it. It's still there. You just have to understand how it works. And you have to have the awareness that it's there. Most of us, well, we're starting to wake up from that now, right? Because that's the era that we're in, right? We're in that phase where it's time for us to basically wake up and stop operating in these lower energetic states and get back high up on our high horse like we were and what we're supposed to be, right? Because our energetic system is designed to be up here, right? You're not supposed to be coming down here. That's a byproduct of these oppressive structures we've existed in. Naturally, you are positioned up here. That's why being are supposed to earn women. And when you think that, most importantly, because you have been taught to seek love outside of yourself, and you think somebody is loving you, you are the love. Women are the love. That's your divine design. That's your genetic makeup. You are the love. Men do not have the same capacity to love the way that women do, especially if they have not done their work. That's why they're supposed to do their work first, and they can meet a woman on her level. That's not their natural capacity. They can reflect the love that you have for yourself. When a woman is in her highest state of love, that means she is in love with herself, and you embody that. When you embody love, that's when a man can really recognize and understand like a woman's worth, or the worth that he wants to assign to you, because they know what they're supposed to be doing. But as long as they don't have to do it, they're going to keep getting by and skirting off like they've been doing. And everybody's going to continue to suffer for it until women wake up and they understand who and what you are. Understand who and what you are. You are the mothers of this earth. And you keep sacrificing yourself because you think you're going to get a cookie. You're not going to get a cookie for suffering. You're not going to get any award for that. We see it time and time again, yet we just, for some reason, can't piece it together. And look at this man probably leading the whole congregation. Look at all the minds they done probably influenced with foolishness. Y'all, it's literally a sickness to be functioning like that. That's the epitome of dysfunctional. I'm trying not to use the word demonic to describe people, but when people get, oh, that's demonic, that's that energy right there. Anything keeping you in a lower, dense way of existing and trying to condition you to suffer and tolerate abuse, because that's what it is, that is demonic, or whatever you want to call it. I don't believe in demons. I believe in lower dense energy and people that operate in it, and systems that try and keep you functioning like this so they can benefit from it. That's what I believe the demon is. The demon for me is whiteness, or colonialism, or white supremacy. I identify some religions as demonic. Stuff training and brainwashing people and women to function like this is demonic to me. That's the demon. And until we wake up and understand what's happening on a grander scale, people are not going to get to where they're trying to go. We have got to wake up and understand what's happening. When black women continuously suffer, the world continues to suffer, right? Understand this. Understand who or what you are. When you continue to subjugate yourself to mess like this, the world continues to suffer. Your natural positioning in this earth is a leader. You're not supposed to be condoning mess like this. When you have men who have not even went through the ascension process or enlightenment process, and it got the nerve to be out here preaching to folks, this is a problem. This is why our men can't wake up, because we won't wake up. When black women wake up and understand who and what they is and the energy that you carry, that's when the men will follow suit. As long as y'all keep seeking these men for something that they ain't got, or they don't even know what are you doing? Anyways, so again, I'm Mocha Mazel with Decolonizing the Divine. I host webinars periodically, particularly for black women. It is called Reawakening Your Ancient Divine Energy for Liberation and Transformation. Right? Your ancient divine energy. Black women carry ancient energy. It's there. Everybody does, but black women in particular. Okay? And so the purpose of this webinar is to help you understand the natural energy that you carry and use it to transform yourself and transform your life and create the life that you desire. If you knew what you had access to, I promise you wouldn't be tolerating stuff like this. And I'm looking at the video. But y'all seen it. Y'all seen it online. The Pastor Reggie and Kelly Steele of Phoenix, Arizona. They was on the Dear Wifey's podcast, and the video title is "You Won't Believe What Nearly Broke This Pastor's Marriage." And how many stories have we heard like this? Not to like isolate them. How many stories have we heard like this? Way too many. Way too many. If you want to see change, we're gonna go with that cliche term, be the change you want to see. That's literally when you change your energetic frequency, you put your energy back up here where it belongs. That's when stuff will start to balance out and we start to exist in a natural way of things. Or in an easier, which is how it was designed anyway. You were not designed to be down here worshiping these silly men. That I promise you. How much you want to bet? You were not designed to be down here worshiping these silly men. But because women have been conditioned to fixate on men, we've given men this false sense of power that they have not earned and they don't know what to do with. And you know what makes me even more mad? The way men just siphon off women's energy and they still ain't doing nothing with it, nothing constructive with it anyway. You spend your days thinking women are something to just leech off of, and you still ain't doing nothing with this good God energy that you done finagled your way to. Still ain't doing nothing with it. Foolishness. Anyways, so I am Mocha with Decolonizing the Divine. Please be sure you subscribe, like, share, and do all the things. And become a part of the community if you want to learn more. So that's it. See you next time.